Tuesday Drive.
Now, look, I'd love to share a little bit of story with you this afternoon. A few years ago when Mum and I were having one of our little chats, she was telling me that when she was younger, one little pastime that she quite enjoyed was walking through cemeteries. Now, apparently she says that she loved looking at the old gravestones and, you know, the way they were constructed, the age of them, and, you know, she used to think of the stories of the people that were buried underneath, the lives that these people must have led. And it was also at that time that I found out that I was nearly named Nathaniel when I was born, because apparently Mum had seen it carved into a tombstone only weeks before I was born and thought to herself, what a lovely name that is, Nathaniel. But for whatever reason, she went with Stephen instead. But look, I've got to say, it's a reminder of the history that many towns across our region hold. Now, joining me is Laurelle Price, who has descendants in a local cemetery, and she's hoping to be able to tidy up the area just a little bit, but looks like she's going to need some help. Hello there, Laurelle. Welcome to Tuesday Drive.
Hello, Steve.
Now, tell me, what is your connection with the Berry Cemetery?
Right. Well, I have a lot of direct ancestors in the Berry Cemetery. I have 16 altogether.
Wow.
So I have, 2 sets of great-great-grandparents and 3 sets of great-grandparents, and all my grandparents and parents are also buried there.
And is this something that, you know, that's always been discussed in the family, that you've had so many descendants there?
I think it's a little bit unusual. They just, they're all farmers in the district, and I don't know, I think it is a little bit unusual to have so many there.
So I can only imagine then that the cemetery would hold a very special place in your heart. Do you find yourself often going to tend the grave sites?
Yeah, I do actually, especially into the old section. And I just find that cemeteries are really important as they tell a story of the community, and they're a resource for like education and genealogy, which has just been big over the last years, and also for tourism.
Well, I think
and the open spaces are also great passive recreation, I think, areas, and often pleasant places to sit and reflect.
Well, and I think that's the thing I sort of struggled when Mum was first telling me that used to be one of her favourite pastimes, was just walking through a cemetery. But like you just said, like it is such a quiet and peaceful place.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you can just reflect, can't you?
Sorry?
You can just reflect in a place like that.
Yes.
Now, you're obviously visiting the cemetery. You're trying to tidy up these sites. What is the situation out there? Like, are they falling down?
Yeah, well, the headstones are in great need of repair, so there is quite a bit of work that needs to be done to have it looking nice. And there's also 9 trees growing out of some of the graves. So the other thing is constantly we're picking up branches and just to keep it tidy, really. And we'd like to be able to have members who can check that out, maybe going once a week just to keep it in order is one reason.
Now, when you say we, who is we?
Oh, we. Well, as a group of the Friends of the Berry Cemetery.
Right.
So we're looking at maybe researching and investigating how many other relatives are interested before we can go ahead to conserve the headstones and graves. And so we'd be looking at applying for grants to be able to do this.
Now, so members of the Friends of the Berry Cemetery, do these people all have descendants in the cemetery itself, or a lot of them just...
I think they've got an interest. I'm not sure that, as we're only a very small group, we're just trying to build on that. So I think a lot of them are interested in historical... also involved with the museum, the local Berry Museum. So we all have an interest in conserving our history.
And of course, where your descendants are, I believe that's the oldest cemetery in Berry. Is that right?
Yes, well, it's the main cemetery from about the 1850s, and at one point they did say that the cemetery was full, and they started a Harley Hills cemetery in the 1890s, which then became no longer suitable. So they went back to the Berry Cemetery, and that's also another cemetery that's in great need of a lot of work.
Now, as we've discussed, you're obviously you're heading in there with other volunteers. You're tidying up the graves. Mainly
we've just been doing that.
But what's the situation though with the grave sites that are actually falling down, or the ones where the trees are growing through?
Yes.
What can you do with those ones?
Well, that's where we have to apply for grants and see if something can be done with that. But we also need for any descendants who are around or are interested, so that we can go ahead with their permission to be able to do something with that. But only with grants can we progress to conserve those sites.
So if you were successful in getting these grants, but you've then also got to get the permission, I understand, of descendants. You just can't go in and start fixing up the graves?
I believe so. If there are no descendants around, then we can go ahead with that, with conserving them. But without grants, then it's really difficult for costly reasons. And I suppose the other thing, we're really looking for people who are interested in keeping it looking nice anyhow. So,
well, Berry has some beautiful parks, Laurelle. Why can't the cemetery be another one? Yeah, that's right. So the other thing is I have a contact email address for those who are interested in applying. What's that?
And that's through Friends of Berry Cemetery, which is all one word, at yahoo.com.
So the big call is trying to get some more people involved with the Friends of Berry Cemetery, and also if anybody knows of any descendants who have connections with the Berry Cemetery to obviously get in touch.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, look, thank you so much for chatting with us this afternoon, Laurelle, and best of luck with it all. And please, I'd love you to keep in contact and let us know how it all goes. Yeah, great. We'll do that. Thank you so much. That was Laurelle Price speaking with us about the Berry Cemetery. And if you'd like any more information, or if you know of someone that has a connection, or perhaps you'd like to get involved and help them keep the cemetery clean, you can get in touch with Laurelle via Friends of Berry Cemetery at yahoo.com. That's Friends of Berry Cemetery at yahoo.com. And if you don't have a pen with you, do not worry. I will pop that up on our Tuesday Drive and Triple UFM Facebook page very, very soon.
This is Tuesday Drive.